how Bitcoin right now, markets go up some days and Bitcoin goes up. Other days, markets go up and Bitcoin goes down. All right, well, now you got to say to yourself, wait, so is it a risk asset or is it a safety hedge? Is it the digital gold or is it a risk on play? And it's going up and down on both of them. There's no identity here. And when there's no identity in something, that to me is concerning. You need to have, like an investor has to have a thesis. What the heck is the thesis? I don't even know right now. I do think longer term, and let's be clear, longer term, I'm a big fan of the bull case. I think it does grow into its identity. I think it is the digital gold. But you know what's happening right now, guys? The government is stifling it. And they're doing it on purpose. I want to be...
Hey guys, welcome back to the Daily Crypto. Yesterday, Gareth Soloway did a new game plan video where he goes through what's currently happening with Bitcoin prices. According to Gareth, the worst is yet to come, and several signs are showing that, whether we want it or not, Bitcoin is heading lower. Some of these include the lack of attendance at Bitcoin's biggest event last week, the Bitcoin 2023 in Miami, lack of proper regulation, and even the change in the market sentiment we usually talk about in this channel. Not only that, but Gareth even goes further on his new Bitcoin price predictions and says the US government and regulators are doing it on purpose to promote their own digital currencies, so this will be a hard battle to take. We will go right into these new predictions, but in his latest video, he also went through how some stocks are exploding right now, and these may be even better than crypto profit-wise, so we will share that outlook as well. Please pay close attention, and don't forget to leave a like and subscribe so you get this excellent curated daily content on your feed.
You know, there's so many people into crypto, and you look at crypto, and sure, you have the Pepes running and stuff like that, but if you actually look at the bigger crypto coins, the Bitcoins, the Ethereums, the Polygons, the Solanas, I'll tell you, if you want action, the action is in stocks. The move on Nvidia, a $700 billion company, moving up 30% on the day, approaching $1 trillion, that is almost unheard of. In fact, I've been trading for 20 years plus, in fact, started in 1999. And I don't know if I've ever seen something of that magnitude. I believe this would be the biggest move up market cap gain-wise of any stock in the history of the markets. Now, do I think this stock is overdone? Yes. That doesn't mean it's necessarily going to pull back immediately, but I will say this AI, they mentioned AI like 50 times in that conference call yesterday. Anytime a company mentions AI, you know what happens? It skyrockets. It's the secret word. It's the secret sauce. Go back to, basically back in 2017, any stock that said the word blockchain ripped higher. Go back even further. Any stock that said .com ripped up in the late 90s, early 2000s. So there are these kind of points that investors and these CEOs realize that if they can push a narrative, they can jack their stock price up. So I do caution you, all right? This is just like Bitcoin at 69,000. Be very, very careful. When everyone is hyping it up, when everyone's saying, oh my goodness, this is amazing, that's usually the time you want to be more cautious. NVIDIA, this is your overnight data, basically in after hours last night. This is when earnings hit. We went from 305 to a high of 394 and change. Pre-market, we opened pre-market at 368. We then moved up to the level of 399, and we've pulled back just a hair. This, again, is an unheard of move. We're talking north of 30%. Now, this is what I'm going to show you. We're going to go to the daily chart, and I want to show you why, in my opinion, this is a hardcore short at the 400-ish even number or anywhere in this vicinity. What we're going to do on our trading view charts here is we're going to go down to the parallels. All right, we're going to take a parallel from down here right to these lows, okay? So you see that? Parallel right from these lows right through these lows. Stretch that up, okay? Now where you're going to see NVIDIA open today right up into that. And I can't even show you because it's off of my chart. But NVIDIA likely will be opening up in that range. It'll be around 380, 390, wherever it is. That will be the high end of a channel. That, to me, spells a short on NVIDIA, or at least a caution flag when people are considering going long. So be very careful, as the technicals will signal that this has now reached probably its blow-off top level.
Crazy moves, right? But let's jump into Bitcoin.
I was bearish on Bitcoin before. I'm actually more bearish now, and I'm going to explain why. So number one, I've been talking about, first of all, let's go back about 3-4 weeks. When we were at 30,500, I came on this stream, I came on the game plan, and I said, guys, unless you get above this and hold above 30,500, this is a dead short, this is a bear market rally. All right, what happened? We pulled back. We pulled back to this level on the charts right here. We then bounced, we pulled back, we bounced. We then broke, and look at the bear flag we're making. Now, this is my problem. There's a couple things that I want to mention about Bitcoin. Number one, all right, I went to Bitcoin Miami. Attendance was down 43% at Bitcoin Miami. All right, this is one of the biggest events of the year for Bitcoin and crypto, and attendance was almost half of what it was the previous year. Now, is it partially that we're in a bear market? Well, maybe, but if you look back at when Bitcoin Miami was last year, price was only around 30,000 last year. So we were already well in a bear market, but there was, again, a huge amount of people. So you can't really blame it on the bear market. So the next thing that you would do is say, okay, well, is it the economy? And the answer is yes, it's probably partially the economy. Money is tighter for people. Inflation has taken a bite out of their disposable income. That makes a lot of sense. Okay, so that could be a factor. But I also think one of the unthought of factors is that there's not as much excitement in crypto.
And Gareth is right about the need for more excitement in crypto. If we look at the market sentiment right now, it's heading lower, and it's been since March. Right now, Bitcoin's Fear and Greed Index is at 49 at a neutral level, whereas last month, it was all greedy. This shows retail investors' lack of excitement and trust in Bitcoin continuing the up move. It doesn't mean people don't believe in Bitcoin anymore, because we all know it's the solution for the long term. People just lost some trust for now. So, the Fear and Greed Index matches what Gareth is saying.
Crypto needs to have the excitement level. Now, if you go in our bubbles, the Twitter bubble, the Instagram bubble, of course you're going to have excitement, right? I mean, you're going to a specific area. But the fact that the government is holding back regulation is very, very problematic. And to me, that's a negative. Now, if we look at the charts are still negative, right? I mean, there's no denying this, all right? You have a bear flag right here underneath this resistance line right here, all right? And any sort of downside move, we actually will have a small stopping point around 24,800, but really the big level is going to be in the 23,000 range. So 23,000 to 24,000. That's going to be your buy level for a bounce. Now, do I think that's the bottom? No. As of now, I'm undetermined. I still think we could go to new lows. I've stuck with that because, again, and this is what drives me nuts. There are so many Bitcoiners out there that are these maxis, and they're like, but Bitcoin rallied 100% off of the lows. Like, it has to be a new bull market. And I'm like, dude, stop being doofuses. Like, think back in 2018. Bitcoin rallied 200% off of the lows and then still went back to the lows of 3,500. So you have to look at history. I know, trust me, I know there's this like, oh, I just wish, oh, I hope I can make $1 zillion. But you know what you're going to do? You're doing yourself a disservice. By not looking at facts, not being logical, not being strong in the mind and disciplined, you're actually going to cost yourself money. Now, again, is it saying that we couldn't have a bottom at 15,700? No, of course you could. Of course you could, but let the charts guide you. The 30,500 level is a level that I went on and I said, this is the Great Wall of China level. This is like the level where, you know, this is the end-all be-all level. And we didn't get through it. So you have to, what's that telling us? I mean, just simply put, what's that telling us? So understand that, guys. You got to understand that. The other thing I'll say on Bitcoin that I don't like about crypto right now is that crypto has no identity. It lost any form of identity over the last couple months. What do I mean by that? Well, let's take a look. The banking crisis hit. We saw banks collapsing. SVB collapsed, Silicon Valley Bank. And what did Bitcoin do? It shot up. Well, guess what? A month later, Bitcoin, some banks collapsed again. All right, we saw WAL, Western Alliance, dropping 50%, PacWest dropping like 75%. Bitcoin went down. So Bitcoin goes up when some of the banks collapse, but then when others collapse, it goes down. Well, that's not an identity. It's not telling us something. Bitcoin right now, markets go up some days and Bitcoin goes up. Other days, markets go up and Bitcoin goes down. All right, well, now you got to say to yourself, wait, so is it a risk asset or is it a safety hedge? Is it the digital gold or is it a risk on play? And it's going up and down on both of them. There's no identity here. And when there's no identity in something, that to me is concerning. You need to have, like an investor has to have a thesis. What the heck is the thesis? I don't even know right now. I do think longer term, and let's be clear, longer term, I'm a big fan of the bull case. I think it does grow into its identity. I think it is the digital gold. But you know what's happening right now, guys? The government is stifling it. And they're doing it on purpose. I want to be 100% crystal clear here. All right? The government is doing a China playbook. And what I mean by that is China, remember, China came out and banned Bitcoin. After they banned Bitcoin, what did they do? They released the digital yuan. Why did they do that? Well, they didn't want competition for the digital yuan. They wanted the digital yuan to gain traction in their economy, and therefore, it doesn't, then once the big players are using the digital yuan, Bitcoin is not as much of a threat. Well, guess what's happened? Now they're starting to loosen that regulatory control and that ban on Bitcoin because the digital yuan has the power. It's now embedded in the Chinese economy. Well, take it to the U.S. now. The U.S. is saying, yeah, well, you know, and by the way, anyone who thinks that the Ripple decision isn't already made is like ludicrous. You think a judge really needs to sit for a year and think about things? I mean, really? I mean, that's ridiculous. That's absolutely ridiculous. So what that means is the government is saying, don't release this view, don't release your decision, and also we're not going to give regulation. By the way, Coinbase is suing them for regulation, you know, so they can figure it out. They're threatening to leave the country. We've already seen, exchanges leave Canada because of this. But basically, look up FedNow. FedNow is a direct payment system that's going to be launching in literally weeks, I believe. And again, it'll basically be a Cash App equivalent or a Venmo equivalent. And it's the beginning of the introduction of the CBDC. And the idea here is very simple. It's the government is not releasing regulation because once regulation comes out, check this out. Once regulation comes out, then the institutions will get involved. Once the institutions put billions and trillions of dollars into crypto, you can't undo that. So as long as they don't release this information, you know what's going to happen? Then the big money sitting on the sidelines, heck, I'm not even willing to invest that much without knowing the rules in crypto, and they're waiting for FedNow to launch, the CBD to launch, the CBDC to launch, and then once that occurs, then you will get regulation. I would almost guarantee within weeks of this occurring, you will get regulatory framework in crypto.
What do you think? Is Gareth right in considering all of this? Is it undeniable that we need proper regulation and the government is screwing Bitcoin and crypto on purpose to promote their CBDCs? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching. See you tomorrow for more Daily Crypto.